All right. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Ron Wilson, aka Mr. Wealthy by Nature. And today, I hope everybody. First of all, let me go ahead and put this out there. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hope everybody is doing great and everything. But I want to let y'all know something special for y'all because I have someone that is definitely for everything that I have ever been talking to you about sound money. I have a expert and an advocate of the sound money, meaning gold and silver. So this is going to be crazy. So before we even start, if you're looking on my post right now and you're on here, go ahead at the bottom. It says that Facebook needs an authorization for you to put your Facebook name on there. I need you to go ahead and click on that. Click on that. Go ahead and authorize it. It's nothing bad or nothing. I just need to know that because when you guys put comments in the comment section, I need to know who I'm talking to. Because if not, it's going to say Facebook user. So please do that. Go ahead and click on that link. Go ahead and authorize Facebook to do it. You're cool. You're good and everything. But today, what we're going to talk about, 7K metals and why you need to take a look. That's what we're going to talk about. And today I have, one of the premier premier people in the game, Mr. Eric Carter, who has, actually molded me and showed me the game of numismatic coins and how, as a collector, I'm not talking about the business side of 7K metals, but as a collector, how I can really transfer my wealth and become an actual, a wealthy type person, and how I can get coins that people can never get and understand what numismatic coins is and how this goes. So without further ado, I'm about to bring my big bro in, Mr. Eric Carter. I'm about to bring him in right now, and we're gonna go and we're gonna go hard. So, Mr. Eric, are you there?
Mr. Wilson, yes, sir, I am. Can you hear me, brother?
Mr. Wilson. Oh man, there we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We here. We here. So,
We're good.
Eric, so I just introduced yourself, what I'm saying, to my audience, and I hope that everybody can so Mr. Eric, hold on. Before we do this, let me go ahead and do another admin. Okay, so Mr. Eric Williams, can you please click that link? Go ahead and give Facebook authorization so I know who you are, because we can't see who you are when you're asking questions. Excuse me, sorry. 1 second. We can't see who you are when you post a question because Facebook has not got authorization. The SEC and everything that's going on. You know how that go. But anyway, Eric, thank you for being here, bro. I know your time is limited, but I want my people to understand who you are and what you do. And if you can just give everybody, a little rundown on who you are, saying how you came into the whole gold and silver game, especially to the coin collector game, and just let everybody know who you are, bro. Please.
Man, that's actually about that's probably a day's worth of information you just asked me in that one little question. I'll try to start with the basics though, right? My grandparents used to save money in a jar, like a pickle jar. They would put all their 50-cent pieces and they silver dollars in there, yada yada yada. And my grandfather used to work as a doorman at a Patlin hotel. That was a good job for him. He brought home a lot of tips. So whenever he brought home like a Indian head penny or buffalo nickel or a Liberty dime, something like that, he would show it with me. And that enough kind of piqued my interest. Like they say, in order to break these generational curses, we have to replace them with new generational habits. So my grandfather started to instill in me a habit of collecting coins. That's kind of how that started. So even today, part of 7K Metals, I still do it with the amount of respect and reverence that I have for my relationship with my grandfather. That was really, really important to me. And so as I began to mature and I began to become an adult, I did a network marketing company. I started with $199 and I escalated to the top of the charts in the ranking. And when I got sick and tired of doing it, this brother offered me 6 figures for my position. Because again, these businesses are willable, transferable, and sellable. So I sold my position for 6 figures. I turned that into a real estate development back in '05, and then '08 happened, and the real estate market crashed. I started watching all the "We Buy Ugly Houses" billboards that was going up and down the highway get replaced uh, by "We Buy Gold" billboards, and that should have been my clue, but I missed out. The good thing was that I had, because I was making so much money, I had collected some gold, collected some silver. So when the real estate market crashed and I was being wiped out, I could actually take some of my gold and silver physically, trade it and get cash and pay my bills. So I didn't have to really struggle like I would have. And again, I was from Michigan watching this happen, where banks in Detroit was telling me, Eric, if you buy one house, we'll give you 9 more just like it free. I mean, that's how bad it was. That's why I'm not a big believer in these fake assets like Robert Kiyosaki like to say. I like a real physical asset.
Yeah. So if I can disseminate what you just said, you said that uh, I mean it's kind of like a generational wealth shift right there because you said I seen it, but I didn't move on it. So for me, I mean, just understanding what you're saying, bro. Just understand what you're saying now. Maybe I'm wrong, but you didn't move on what you seen how the shift was about to go this way. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, I mean, all of these financial advisors, man, that I had, none of them told me about the oncoming shift and the collapse of the dollar because of the whole banking crisis and what that was going to do to the real estate market, other derivatives, and things like that. So I didn't have a clue. Matter of fact, I was told that as long as you own real estate, you'll never be broke, and that's not true.
Well,
When you
we
buy
all
a
know.
house
We
for
all
a
know
hundred
that's a lot.
thousand dollars,
I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but we know that's a
right?
lot. Me as a real estate man, as an investor, and
Correct.
still, I'm about to get my license. That's what I'm reading, and that's what I understand. That's a lie. That's a lie.
It is. But I didn't believe that as a lie at that time. I had never
Yeah,
seen real estate collapse before in my lifetime, but it did. And at the same time, real estate collapsed, gold shot through the roof because the gold that I was buying at that time was about $340 an ounce. It shot up, brother. When it shot up to like $600, $700 an ounce, I quickly sold it all, thinking that it was overvalued. And when it dropped back down to a normal 400, 450, I would buy some more. The problem was it shot over $2,000, and it's never gone back down to where I actually sold it at. So now I'm reacquiring these physical assets at a much higher price and premium than I would have done then. So I absolutely wish that I had actually moved uh, moved greater into that direction back in '07, '06, when I really had the resources to do it.
yeah. So basically, what you're saying is, you pump fake. In basketball,
Right.
you got the triple threat. You got the shoot, the pass, or you're gonna drive. So you had the first two, but when you got there, you pump faked, and then you lost out because you sold everything, but you didn't think it was going to go this way. So how can people understand really what the pump fake was? Because I don't think a lot of people understand what you're trying to say. They think that he caught an L. No, he actually won. He just learned from the pump fake. So if you can elaborate on that, bro.
Yeah, I thought that I was gonna. I mean, I sold it for almost twice as much money as I paid for it. I did well, right? But then I had a goal in mind, which is to buy it again when the value dropped again. But the value never dropped again. So now I'm trying to reacquire those assets now at a higher dollar amount than what I could have even had them at. So here's what's important: when they say the gold and silver is a hedge against inflation, basically what you need to be doing is whether the market goes up and down, up in price or down in price, you need to be buying more of it because it's just a hedge against inflation. So you're not really playing the market. That way you don't lose out when gold gets $5,000 an ounce or $10,000 an ounce, right? Because you didn't sell it prematurely. You didn't sell all of it prematurely.
Yeah. So basically what he's saying is that, if you have a chance to, be in this market, because let's be real, the derivative market is, multi-trillion dollar market. But the actual gold and silver, palladium, platinum, copper, that market has a hedge against that. And it has never went to, it's never been to a point where, you're going to lose money. Because here's the thing, when you when it comes to fiat currency, meaning the U.S. dollar, the Canadian pound, or the British pound, or the Australian dollar, the forex market, and I have no knocks against it because I trade in the forex market. I know how to trade. But what I'm saying is this is manipulated by a government that has no backing. Meaning that right now, if you're in the stock market, or you're in the the derivatives market, there's nothing backed by it. Prior to 1971, when we came off the gold standard, there has been an open season to just print whatever you want, and you are now gambling in a rich man's casino. That's what it is right now. That's what it is
Yeah,
right
and I
now.
and I like
Because
and I and I'd like to expound upon that, brother. It's the government and these huge financial institutions, they're basically in a conspiracy to devalue the gold and silver, because they realize that if people really understood the real value of gold and silver, then all fiat currency immediately would drop to almost zero. So they're the biggest holders of physical gold and physical silver. When they start printing a bunch of money so that the gold and silver don't jump through the roof overnight, they start dumping a lot of these derivatives of gold and silver, these ETFs, on the market for
right,
sale, and then that
exactly.
artificially depresses the value of the gold and
Let me
silver. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Let me break something down to y'all. I'm actually going through the process of getting my real estate license. And one of the chapters talks about the primary market and the secondary market. And I know Eric knows about what that is. The primary markets means that you have the banks, you have your house or your business, whatever you're trying to do. So you go to the bank, you say, "Hey, I need $100,000." The bank is looking at you like this. I don't trust them. They're going to give you that money. They're going to give it to you, but they're looking at you on the sideways. But on the secondary market, guess what happens? You have Fannie Mae, you have Mac May, and you have Ginnie Mae. Three of the top, listen to me, the top fund hedge markers that take the money, okay? Because once the bank loans all that money out, they have to get it somewhere. The bank can't loan none if they don't have it, so they got to get it from somewhere. So they go to the secondary market and they bundle it up. Same thing that happened in 2008. If I'm lying, Eric, please tell me I'm
Right.
lying. They bundle it up, they put it in a big package, and they go to the investors. Hey, we got mortgages, we got car loans, all this, because it's all packed in there because the banks are the one that finance the actual product. Hey, we got all this. Do you want to invest in this? And they say, yeah. That's where the liquidity comes from. So if you don't have that, what happens to your economy? And this is what happens over and over again. And it happened in 2008, 2009, and then it's now happening right now in 2020. Because you know what? There is no liquidity because we have all these loans, all these businesses, and banks have to finance them. But if the banks don't have the fiat currency, i.e., non-sound money, then how are they going to finance this?
Right. Then they
But
can't.
exactly. And then you have your 2%, your 2.5%, 5% that has sound money, i.e., gold and silver. See, now they have leverage because now not only can they leverage the same thing that you're looking for, but they have an actual tangible asset that they can leverage now.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. And the thing is, as long as it's sitting in those markets, they are the ones who can pull those levers and control it. Right? When it's sitting in your pocket, when it's sitting in your sitting in your safe, when it's sitting in your 7K sound wallet, right? They can't manipulate your stuff. They can only manipulate their stuff, which is
Mhm.
why if you're
Yeah.
understanding everything he and I are telling you, why it makes so much sense to, and I'm not telling you to take everything that you have and put it in the physical gold and physical silver. No, we simply telling you to diversify what you got. We understand you
Exactly.
got 401ks and IRAs and Keo accounts and checking accounts and and savings accounts, but you should have a significant portion, 10 to 20% of
At
whatever
least
you're
at least twenty
at,
percent. At least twenty
at
percent.
least that set
At least.
aside in physical gold and physical silver. And I can
Yeah.
tell you, there's people in Venezuela, Portugal, Greece, Ireland, Spain, Zimbabwe. They all
Africa.
wish Africa.
Africa.
They all wish they would have had physical gold and physical silver when their country's currency devalued.
Right, right, and I'm so glad you said that though, Eric, because I mean I don't think people understand like when it comes to economics. I'm not a financial advisor. Eric is not a financial advisor, but one thing we understand is money. And when it comes to money, because I'm not talking about the paper that you got, them Franklins, them Benjamins, them. We're talking about money, sound money, because that is the first thing that if you understand money, the first thing you need to understand. And Eric, I'm gonna put this out here right now, brother, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna put it out here like this.
It's cool.
The first thing, the way you can control your money is stop calling paper money. It's currency. Money
Right.
is a store of value.
Right.
Currency is a means of exchange.
Correct.
Currency and money can both be that. But here's the thing, when I put $1 over here to Eric, it might devalue to about 90 cents. But if I put some money, i.e., gold, the same amount of gold, right now it's going to be the same amount in 30 years.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
And
So
see, that's where go ahead, bro. I'm sorry, go ahead.
even when you look at this stuff we typically call money, the stuff that the average person calls money, which is really currency. When you look at the top of it, it says Federal Reserve note. That means that dollar is simply nothing more than like a bearer bond. It's an IOU from the government to the person that you owe money to when you give it to him. And now he has that new debt. Now he has that new asset that he owns and controls. But it's nothing. It's absolutely zero. I tell people that money should be weighed. It shouldn't be counted. Money should be weighed. I should take an ounce of gold or 500 ounces of silver and put them on a scale. Anywhere in the world is going to weigh exactly the same. You can't do the same thing with currency. Currency, you got to trust the system. You then got to look for the exchange rate, and then you got to find somebody
And you
willing
know
to
how the
accept
system
it.
works. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I mean, I mean, you said something that's powerful. You said you got to trust the system. We know the system doesn't work. If you can print $3.5 trillion every quarter, and we're still almost $30 trillion in debt, do you think that works? I mean,
No,
it doesn't add up to me. It doesn't.
and it's not supposed to. There's a good book by Jerry Griffin, who's also a member of 7K Metals, who wrote a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I tell the
Oh,
people on my team
oh, that's a
that is
great book.
required. That is required reading. When people read that book, they quit
I didn't read it.
trying to
I didn't
just
read it
buy.
front to back. I read it front to
See,
back. I know what the
there you
Federal
go.
Reserve done. I know what I'm saying. What happened in 1913 prior to them even going to South Carolina with the creature of Jekyll Island. I understand what's going on, bro. I
Right,
understand what's going on.
right, and it actually go back to the War of 1812 and some other stuff that I'm not going to really get into right here. But I'll just say this: the people that read that book, the people on my team that read that book, they no longer look at their auto ship as being a payment that they got to make every month.
That's an
They don't.
asset, buddy.
It's an asset. And then what they tend to do, instead of doing the minimum requirement, Instead of doing the minimum requirement of one MS-70 per month, they end up buying like one MS-70, 5, 10 extra ounces of gold or silver to go along with it every month. Because now they fully understand that this is really two things. One, yeah, it's a business opportunity like an Amway or Mary Kay or Tupperware, right? But it's also a system that you get to use and put in place to create assets and generational wealth for generations to come. The good book says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, right?
Yes,
Most
sir.
of us don't leave our kids nothing but debt and problems.
Right.
We got to change that. They don't have to start at the same low level that we did. I mean, particularly for African Americans, we struggle with that because we were taught at an early age. We don't discuss money, right? We don't discuss it.
And,
And I know,
Eric, like you said, hold
yes,
on,
sir,
we don't stress money, right?
right,
But when me and you, when we was growing up, I know you're a little older than me. I mean,
a little bit,
I see. But what I'm saying though, when we sat around at the kitchen table for Thanksgiving, whatever, or you sitting on the stoop with your cousin, your uncle, the only time you seen money, it was either in their mouth or around their neck.
right. That's true, real true.
So
And that
when
goes
you start
that goes
talking
back
about, when
to
you start, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
yeah that
Go ahead.
that goes back to African roots where you had to pay the boatman. So if you was gonna go to heaven, you had to pay the boatman to carry you there. And if you didn't have like the dollars that your ancestors would put over your eyeballs so that you can cross that river, or if you didn't have like a piece of gold you could take out your tooth and give to the boatman, you wasn't gonna make it into heaven. You was gonna be stuck in limbo. So we still wear jewelry and gold chains and stuff, so we ain't never out. But I'm gonna tell you, that's the worst way to do it because there's so much premium on gold jewelry. It's ridiculous. They they got most of us convinced that 14 karat gold chains is pure gold, and it ain't. That's just the popular gold. I go to a jewelry store, say how much for that chain, and I'm looking at it's 10 karat, and I weigh it, and they charge as much for that 10 karat gold chain as I could get for 1 ounce of 395 fine
Pure,
pure gold for the same price. It's the worst
pure,
place to buy
pure.
gold and silver. And I'm so thankful
Yeah.
to 7K, brother. It is because it gives me a way to educate our other
Hey,
people.
hey, listen, we're gonna get into that right now. Let's. I mean, Eric, that's we're gonna say that for a number. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
All
But I
right.
really want to get into the whole 7K medals, where everybody need to understand why they need this. And so my next question is this. Um, I mean, you've been in the game for 7K for a minute. So, what have you done to maximize the membership? Because a lot of people think it's every month, but they don't understand it's a yearly membership. So what have you done, to and within that membership to expand what we have been talking about for the last 25 minutes?
So first thing I did, brother, is that I talk to people that I know, and I ask them typically three questions. The first question is, do you think it's a good idea to save money? Most of them say yes. And then I always say, well, given today's political and economic climate, do you think it might be a good idea to save at least a portion of that money in physical gold and silver? And then they always say yes. And then my question to them is, if you believe it's a good idea to save money, you believe it's a good idea to save some of the physical gold and silver, would you rather pay wholesale for that or retail for that? When they say wholesale, I say great, because if you just say retail, that's your business. But if you say wholesale, that's my business. And that's why I'm here to help you. So what I've done, once I get them understanding that we're just giving them a chance to change their worthless paper currency into some sound money, the next thing I do is I ask them and I start questioning them, how much do you think is a good idea to save? And I had to ask myself that same question too. So that now the way to maximize the membership for me is I buy the AutoSaver every single month. That keeps me qualified to earn the kind of money I make as a bronze associate with 7K medals. But additionally to that, I take that extra money and I convert that into, like the young lady Victoria asked me today. She said, "Are you a stacker?" Yes, I'm a stacker. She said, "What do you stack?" I stack primarily American Silver Eagles and Canadian Maple Leafs, in addition to my membership. That's how I maximize it, and that saves me, guys, on this. internet land, that saves me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year because I'm buying physical gold, physical
That's
silver
what my brother's
at the
talking
best
about right
possible
here.
price. Right.
Yes, sir.
I see you showing off.
He stacked these.
Right.
I do 2 of these a month on
At
top of my
least
auto save. At
at
least.
least 2 of
You know
those a
why?
month.
You know why? Because I do not want to be in that category of the person that missed that 1.4 and a half. Well, next year, depending on the GDP, it might be $1.5 million mistake.
Honestly,
That's
man,
why.
honestly, it's already over 1.5 because when they did that, that was pre-COVID. That was before we watched silver go from $14 an ounce to $18 an ounce, and gold go from 1,600 to
I
19.
digress.
It's
I'm
already
sorry.
over 1.5 million. And on
Yeah.
top of that, I want to make your audience aware of something. In 1999, people freaked out and panicked. They bought as much gold and silver as they possibly could. In 2020, people freaked out and panicked. Those that know are buying as much gold and silver as they possibly can. History tends to repeat itself. If 1999 you'd have bought one MS-70 per month, it'd cost you about $100 a month. That thing is now selling for 20,000, right? My guess, and I'm not a prophet, so I'm not gonna make this prediction, but it would not surprise me knowing that 2020 looks a lot like 1999, where the mints ran out of physical gold or silver, right? That the value of an MS-70 also becomes $20,000 a piece sometime in the future. The
Well,
year 2020.
and Eric, hold on. So for y'all that it didn't click. Basically, what he's saying is your investment in 10 years, you're a millionaire. That's what he said.
Right, right. Because
That
2020 looked
that's what he
just
said.
like 1999.
This same 2020, y'all see that, right? 2020 Silver Eagle in 10 years may be worth, I mean,
Right,
who
right.
knows?
And it may possibly be worth more than that. Because I can tell you as a collector, the beginning of a series and the end of a series are the most valuable of the collection.
Oh,
20,
oh, hold on. Eric, please tell him. Listen,
yeah,
this
2020. Yes,
this is the last series that they're gonna make before July the 4th.
correct,
Y'all can see it. This
correct.
is the last series that looks like this.
So the
Go ahead, Eric.
2020,
Now go
the,
ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
so the 2020 graded American Silver Eagles, you want to put as many of them in your collection as possible because that might be the one to make you a millionaire. Because July 2021, the American Silver Eagle gets a complete makeover. It's not going to look nothing like the 2020s. That means that the 2020s and the 2021s will be the one that's in demand 20 years from today. Now, again, I can't promise you and I can't guarantee you. I can tell you that my strategy is to not relive 1999. I was around in 1999. I was collecting coins in 1999, but I had no idea those could be worth $20,000 each.
We got a
But I'm
question,
not
Eric.
taking a chance this time around.
Eric, we got a question. I don't know if you can
How
see it on the
much gold
screen,
and
bro.
silver is a good amount to keep readily available? So I tell people this because I got a friend of mine who had his daughter in Venezuela when that collapsed and there was a struggle. I tell people this, and it's about your comfort level. But I think that every single person should have at least 50 ounces worth of silver in their house, not in a safety deposit box. I mean, it could be buried underneath the doghouse in the backyard or whatever, whatever. But you need at least 50 ounces that you can touch at a moment's notice if you need to. Now, my friend in Venezuela, when Venezuela collapsed, his daughter was down there and he was trying to get her back to the United States. He sent her cash, and the banks of Venezuela wouldn't give her the cash that he sent her. They just confiscated it. Right? He tried to buy her a plane ticket to get her out of Venezuela, but the people that owned the planes in Venezuela realized the people didn't have any cash. and they didn't want to leave these $1 million airplanes on the ground, not making them any money. So they pulled all those out. He had to hire basically a bunch of marauders from south of Venezuela to come get his daughter and get her out the country. He was able to do that because they were able to accept currency. But if she had physical gold and physical silver, she would have been all right. Today, 1 ounce of silver in Venezuela will buy a month's worth of groceries for a family of 4. 1 ounce of gold in Venezuela right now will buy a person a whole house. You need at least 50 ounces to prepare for whatever dumb decisions governments make. You don't have to participate in their ignorance. So
Yeah.
I would say at least 50 ounces to be comfortable.
So there you have it. You know what I'm saying? And Eric is not nobody that, he just started 3 years ago. He's been doing this for decades, like decades. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to understand that this is not nobody that I'm talking to right now that, I've seen his collection. His collection is so stupid. I'm jealous. I'm kind of mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of mad, but it's cool. It's cool. He teaching me though, but I'm kind of mad because he be showing me stuff like, man, come on, man. I can't get that, man. But this is the type of individuals that I'm associated with that understand sound money and understand real wealth. Because you're working 9 to 5. I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm not telling you to quit your job. All I'm saying is, why not hedge and be able to protect what you work for a little bit is $140. I know people that spend listen, this last week, I know people that spent $700-800 for a PlayStation 5.
Right.
Now listen, you could have took $100 of that and put it more to what you just spent. Meaning that $800, you took $100. I mean, you got $7. That $100 over a period of time, because they're clearly going to make a PlayStation 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. But that coin that you just bought is going to be worth more than that as they build. True, false, factual opinion. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you how to spend your money. Spend your money. It's yours. But all we're saying is we're showing you another way. And it's very easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's very easy. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. So with that being said, I'm going to go to the next question, and then we're going to open it up, Eric, because I know you got a lot of stuff to go on. So my last question is this, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be politically correct when I say it. So I'm trying to, okay. So how do you see gold and silver going into the future with 7K metals? And explain it from the 7K metal side and explain it from the people that's not in 7K metals. So how do you see everything going forward for the next, let's just say the next 3 to 4 years?
Well, I can tell you that it's not likely that gold and silver is going to go down. So whether or not we're talking about from 7K metal side or from the investment side, the price of gold and silver is not going to go down. Because when we talk about those stupid government decisions, one of those decisions was to print $6 trillion this year, right? In 1 year. For 200 and some odd years we've been around, we were floating at around $12 trillion in debt. We went from 12 trillion to $20 trillion in 8 years. We went from 20 trillion to $26 trillion in debt in 6 months. And there's the Fed chairman is saying that the future economy is going to look vastly different than it did last year. Right. So that's just a clue.
That means a bad thing.
Say it again?
That's a bad thing, right?
That's a bad thing for people who are not prepared with precious metals. That's a really bad thing for them.
Okay.
So what's going to So I want to put it to you like this. Those of you guys who are on this Zoom, you're probably going to be responsible for making sure that your grandparents can eat. Because with that level of projected inflation, if they're on a fixed income, that fixed income is not going to carry them to where they're going to be comfortable. They're just not. If you're in your earning years, because of inflation, the price of wages going up, you're going to earn enough to keep up with that inflation, but it's going to be the older people that's going to suffer. It's going to be the poor people that's going to suffer. It's going to be those types of people that's going to suffer. Now, you're getting some wisdom right now. So if you don't exercise that wisdom, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to you at that point. And this ain't just Eric Carter saying it or Ramon saying it, because you can go on Google and YouTube, begin to educate yourself, right? That onus is on you. So outside of 7K metals, outside of what we're talking about right here, you need as much gold and silver as possible in short order. Like, I'm not saying you got 10 years to get ready for this. These governments are already talking about dumping the US dollar, right? They're talking about dumping the US dollar as the world reserve currency. Your standard of living is going to suffer incredibly if that's the case. And then Joe Biden said that he was going to spend another $10 trillion the first year on infrastructure in the United States. So we'll go from 16.
That's 8%. That's 8%. And I'm not talking 8% of 100,000. I'm talking trillion.
Correct.
So add that on top of what he's saying. So it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden. They are going to increase the actual fiat currency that's pumped into the economy. So that means that if it took you $20 to get groceries to feed your family, it's going to take $80 now.
Right. So yeah, you'll be getting $15 an hour minimum wage, but you're still going to be broke.
You're still going to be broke
because everything going to cost more money. And it's funny, I'm going to tell you this. 1986 to 1990, Ronald Reagan was in office when we went and mounted up this huge debt, right? And what I learned from that was that the country uses debt, right, to finance. They use inflation to finance their debt, right? You can't pay off $10 trillion without inflating the currency. So you got enough currency floating around in circulation so you can pay it off. When that happens, people on fixed incomes suffer. I was around in the 70s. I watched double-digit interest rates on houses.
My mother's on a fixed income.
Say it again?
I said my mother's on a fixed income.
Your mom's on a fixed income. So it's going to be coming upon you, man, to be able to do two things. One, earn enough money that you can help her, right? And the second thing is make sure you got enough assets.
It'll be good. I'm just saying,
the family.
Everybody can't do what I do, though.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, like you're saying, if you are surviving on what you have right now, then subtract that times 3 times when inflation happens, because that's what happens. If you're living on $100 a month, if inflation happens, that means you're going to be less than 300. So you got to figure that out just to get even, and then be able to make more.
Correct. And I watched that with my grandfather, man. He planned to retire with $678 a month. When he planned this retirement, $678 was a lot of money. By the time he actually retired, $678 I had to move my grandfather in with me and take care of him. Fortunately, I was in a position I could do so.
The hidden secrets of money. What he said. Mike Maloney said, you know, 20 years ago, you retired. You thought 62 years, $150,000 was enough to retire on. But when you retired at 62, that $150,000 is not there no more. So what do you do?
No, it's not. It's not. So you got to go back to work.
Yeah, you got to. So Eric, I got another question right here. Mr. Eric Wynn said, do you think we will possibly be able to purchase a home with silver or gold in the future, in the years to come?
So Eric, what's going to happen, brother, is this: the price of silver is going to meet its real value. The price of gold is going to meet its real value. So you'll be able to take your gold, you'll be able to take your silver, and cash it in, and take that money and pay off your house. Yes. So you might have $5,000 worth of silver today at $25 an ounce. Let's just use that amount. But when it's $250, $5,000 worth of silver is now $50,000. But your debt on your home remained exactly the same. You follow me? So you won't be taking the coins to buy a house. What you'll be doing is taking the coins, cashing them in to buy a house. For somebody who doesn't have gold and silver, and their house value stayed the same.
Eric, I hope that
excellent question.
He got another one. He said, do you see this economy ever going back to a gold standard to back that worthless paper?
Well, it really depends on us. As long as the feds believe they can continue to pull the wool over our eyes, they'll never go back to gold and silver, right? Because it's too easy to print money. And what they can't do is create money out of thin air when it's physical gold and silver, right? So that's the struggle. So I would love to see them go back to a gold standard, go back to honest money, because it gets rid of things like war, for example, right? If you can't borrow the money to go to war, right, you
As a
can't go to
veteran,
war.
when you got gold, listen, as soon as we came on the gold standard, that's when stuff went. It cancels wars. You know why? Because now you cannot just go ahead and print money for anything that's on the left wing or
Tanks
the
and jet
right
planes.
wing, regardless if you're a Republican or a Democrat. When you're on a gold standard, it keeps you honest. Point blank. Period.
Exactly. Exactly.
Keeps you honest.
Yeah. So so governments hate a gold standard. It's really up to us to force our government to go back to honest money, to to print money that they can afford to print and not just print money out of thin air.
Yes. Yes. So Eric, I hope that answered your question. Eric, I got one last thing, bro. I got one last
Sure.
thing before we go because I know you're busy, man. I know, but I really respect your time, bro. I really do, and I respect everything you do for me and our team. And man, I love you, bro, because man, listen. If it weren't for you, man, I probably would never understood, the deep side of gold and silver and understanding numismatic coins and how, it definitely, separates me from everybody else from buying
Right.
bullion and rounds, but understanding, what you have in front of you. So, with that being said, the last question I want to ask is this: if you had three things that you really wanted to say to people about gold and silver, what would it be?
Man, I would say that the first thing is to understand you can't have too much of it. You can't you can't have too much of it. If you got extra money laying around your
That's what we
house,
want. That's what we
right?
want.
Convert it all to gold or silver. Personally, everything that I'm not using to pay bills with, because I understand I got to pay bills, a house note, car note, insurance, all the other kind of stuff. Everything I'm not using on a day-to-day basis, when I got anything extra, I'm buying physical gold and physical silver with it, and I'm taking physical possession of it. Right. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to tell you is this: there is going to come a time, whether you want to admit it or not, where the United States dollar will no longer be the world reserve currency. When that happens, your standard of living based on dollars is going to go down significantly. Whether you choose to do anything about it today or whether or not you choose to suffer for it later because you did nothing about it, it's completely up to you as a grown man and a grown woman. But it's up to you to educate yourself about it. And then the third thing is now that you know these things to be true. And if you don't know these things to be true, continue to do some research because they are true. But now that you know these things to be true, it's up to you now to educate those people around you to the best of your ability to help protect them. Because if you don't, when the economy begins to suffer, the people that you know, love, trust, and respect the most, they're going to suffer along with it. Or they can thank you because you educated them and made them aware of what was happening. That's why I like 7K because really it goes full circle. And all three of those things are tied into one
Well,
simple
well, well,
opportunity.
and Eric, just to caveat what you said, bro. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's
Okay.
why 7K is a three-win. It's a win-win-win situation,
Right.
and a lot of people don't understand that because they're on the outside looking in. But when you're inside of the 7K family, listen. I'm not sitting here. Eric is not sitting here to try to recruit you to sign up. We care less if you sign up. We care less, honestly.
Right.
But once you're in the inside and you understand what you have your hands on, it's just like this. If somebody gave you a 600 SL 550 Benz and said, look, this is the MSRP, it's $75,000. Well, no, my bad. That was like okay, $95,000. That's the 550. Sorry, $95,000. But you can get the same car right now just because you understand that this car is not worth $100,000. You can get the same car, but all we need you to do is just show people that this car is not worth that much. What would you do? The average person is going to be like, oh, I'm going to go over here and get this $75,000 car. And
Right.
I'm going to tell my cousin, and that's all we're doing. We are the Costco of sound money. Meaning, if you go to Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco, I mean, any membership that you got to pay a yearly, and you can go in there and just shop it till you drop, whether you buy it or not. If you can do that with sound money, it's a no-brainer to me, because that's what 7K is. I can go in my back office right now. I can buy everything from a kilo to 3-4 kilos.
Right.
And it don't matter if I did it today or 7 months from now. I paid a yearly membership. I can buy and I get a dealer direct, meaning that it comes from the mint. Comes off the earth to the mint to be certified to me. There is no third party. Because that's whether it's a diamond, whether it's gold or silver, that's how it works. No one else in the world can do that. No one. And then, hold on, excuse me, Eric, hold on. And then I have the #1 numismatic grader in the world, aka Mr. Miles Standish, who is on the team where he makes coins where it's signed by him.
Right.
And he creates his own coins, and no one in the world has them. Do you understand what low mintage means when it comes to gold and silver? Do you understand what that means? It's like having a Saline Mustang Eleanor, and it's only 400 made, and I got one of them.
Exactly. Right.
That's the power we have in 7K. So it's no gang banging on assets. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're just telling you the truth, the facts, and the actual actions of what we're doing, what he's saying. And we're showing you. And this man right here, Mr. Eric Carter, I'm telling you, Mr. Eric Carter is nothing to play with. And if you don't believe him, go look him up. He's on Facebook. Y'all see it right now. I'm telling you, his collection is stupid. He's been doing this for a long time. Right. And here's the thing that he understands. It's profits over wages. Whether you want to be a collector or you want to be an actual builder, whatever you want to do, this right here is called sound money. $1 can never evaluate to something that's been around for 5,000 years. Never. And you mean to tell me I can spend $200 or $500 for a year and I can shop till I drop?
Right.
Imagine dropping one of these silver eagles right here. And we just told you that if you had one of these since 1986 to right now, you'd be worth almost $2 million. Imagine dropping 2 of these in your grandkids, your kids, your wife, your husband, your auntie, your uncle, dropping in a stocking.
Right.
That's all I got to say, bro. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead and take us out. Oh, I got a question. Go ahead. Here it comes. It's about to pop up, bro. I got a question. Here you go.
Do I target it from a stacking aspect or collectors? Which is more important to investment in as an investor? So I'll put it to you like this. If you're an investor, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, if you're an investor, the numismatic coins over time has appreciated in value at a higher rate than just the physical bullion, just the physical weight of the gold or silver. So that's a fact. So if you're a long-term investor, you absolutely should be putting in numismatics. Now, if you're a stacker, and there's a lot of those, like preppers, people that's understanding what's happening. I'm a little bit of both. That's why I say I buy my MS70s. I buy them, absolutely. But I also buy 5 to 10 times the amount in just standard. non-graded silver, non-graded gold. You should do a little bit of both, whatever your comfort level is. But absolutely, I talk to people who are in these different groups who are just silver stackers. They don't understand the numismatic value of it. I understand it. It's up to me to educate them on it. But all I got to do is show them historically. They may have a 1999 silver eagle that's not graded. They bought it in 1999 for 12 bucks. Now it's 25. If they'd have bought a numismatic coin for $100, they would have paid a premium to from $12 to $100 to get it. But they would also be getting $20,000 instead of $25. Do both.
Facts. We're not talking something that you heard. We telling what we know. That's just numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Do both.
Hey,
Do both.
listen, bro. I know you got to get back to your business and everything, man. I really appreciate you, G. Real talk, man. You know, a great brother. You know what I'm saying? Dallas, Texas, stand up. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Killeen, Texas for what 13, 14 years, so I understand Texas. You know, and when I first met Eric, you know what I'm saying, he was genuine the whole time he came to me. He was like, you know, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I know you don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna teach you. So I always come to him. He's in my group. He's in everything I do. You know what I'm saying? Along with the other you know leaders. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Tony Hubbard, Mr. Ricardo Harrington. You know what I'm saying? You know, Mr. Miles. You know, Miles Standish. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's a part of our team. We're not trying to make you think that it's a business that we signed up with making money. We're trying to protect and make you money. There's no way that I spent $130 for this, that this is not going to make me money.
Right.
Point blank, period.
Right.
Everything I do within 7K, I'm making money. Whether I'm sending it through Ceremony Wallet, whether I'm doing auto ship, whether I'm just buying bullion, I'm buying rounds. I'm not spending money. I'm transferring wealth. That's all I'm doing. I'm not spending money. And first of all, it's not money. I'm spending currency to make money.
Now, basically, all you're doing is asking somebody to give you change for $1. You take $1, they give you back 4 quarters. When you're ready to get your full $1 back, you give them back the 4 quarters, you get your $1. You could do the same thing with precious metals. As a collector, how do I know what to buy? Is it based off demand or mintage? Right? So low mintage coins create more demand. They create more demand. And the way that you learn it basically is if you got your membership, they teach you those types of things in your back office. There's a series of videos. Membership has its privileges. That's one of them. There's a series of videos that educate you on that kind of stuff. And I did trainings for Tony Hubbard. I've done trainings for the company itself, 7K Metals. I was on their national platform to teach the numismatic standpoint of it, because I can go all the way back to Sir Isaac Newton when it comes to why they make coins a certain way, right? And very few people in 7K Metals can do that. So, and I'm not bragging on myself. What I'm simply saying is that the information that I just gave you, any information that you guys need, I highly recommend that you always take notes. You have information. The more educated, the more successful you're going to be, whether you're doing it at 7K or whether or not you're doing it just to stack. You need to know what you're stacking and why. That first begins with the question you have to ask yourself: why are you doing it?
Right.
Doing it as a long-term investment. Absolutely, you need to have as many numismatic as possible. Doing it because you're a prepper and you believe that the value of the dollar is going to go way down. You want as much physical gold as possible, physical silver as possible. Go ahead, get yourself as many ounces as you can afford immediately. But you need to have your whole portfolio of precious metals diversified.
Yeah. So, you know, just to wrap this up, you know, Eric, again, I appreciate you, bro. You know, definitely, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are on here and the ones that were on here earlier, you know, we definitely have a solution for what you're looking for. Whether you don't understand, listen, you know, Sir Richard Branson says something, and I read his book. He said, if someone brings you an opportunity and you don't know what the hell going on with it, go with it. You can learn later.
Right.
That is the the offspring of becoming a billionaire or a millionaire, because I didn't know nothing about gold and I knew about gold and silver, but I never knew what gold and silver was, especially numismatic coins that I can get every month coming to me, 2 and 3 of them. So with that being said, if Mr. Eric reached out to you, please get back to him, please. And this is not a sales pitch. Get some education. Go research like I do. I'm not asking you to sign up with me. This is not a sign up. Please call me, because I know people like Eric. I know people like, Mr. Tony Hubbard. I know people like, Ricardo Hamilton. I know people in the game that's out here that understands what wealth is about. Because I'm gonna tell you this, after the 18th of December, we go back into this new inauguration, come into January 20th. We have a new shift of power in our so-called government, meaning that it goes from Republican, Democrat. It's going to be a lot of changes. And ladies and gentlemen, can nobody stop an economy but your own? It doesn't matter if it's a Republican, a Democrat, it doesn't matter. The only economy that you can stop is the one inside your household. And the only thing that has happened over 5,000 years is this: gold and silver.
That's right.
It's the only thing that can stop it. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much the government print, because they're going to keep printing money. They think that they're going to hold up the economy by just printing, i.e., just printing $1,000 from the goddamn Federal Reserve. You know what I'm saying? They think that you can do, sharding from the banks, meaning that they're going to bail them out, or the banks are going to bail the government back in. It's so much stuff that's going in the economy. But if you understand that gold and silver is the promise of this world, and for your own household economy, no one can come confiscate this, but they can confiscate my bank account. They can't come get this gold. You know why? You know why? You know why they can't come get it? Because it goes to a ceremony wallet, and I can put it in a private vault that no one has.
Right.
This is what the wealthy do. That's why it's only 1% of the wealthy. You wonder why you 98% or 99% of the other people that got to pay all these taxes, and you wonder why the president, he only pays $700 some in taxes. You know why? Because he's smart. He's just like us. I guarantee you, 95% of his wealth is in gold and silver, or some type of entity of a gold and silver, whether it be a gold certificate, whatever. He knows that you cannot stop it. You cannot go against gold and silver. I don't care what you say. Listen, even if you don't understand gold and silver, what me and Eric was talking about, and Eric, I'm gonna end it like this. Even if you don't understand what me and Eric was talking about, when your cousin come over his house, his mouth full of gold, he got gold around his neck, what you look at? Yeah, they got money, they wealthy. Yeah, because those that hold the gold and silver are the ones that control the power.
That's right. That's the goal.
So I appreciate you, Eric. I appreciate you, bro. Any last things you got to say, bro? I really appreciate you, man. Anything last you got to say?
Man, I think we said it all, and I want to be mindful and respectful of everybody else's time and efforts. But if you want me back on again, man, I'm happy anytime, brother, because I like what you're doing. I like how you're educating everybody, and anything I could do for you to help you on this mission, man, you just let me know.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you, bro. I love you, bro. And we definitely will get back again. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all, everybody that came in tonight. I thank y'all. I hope you guys definitely learned something. If you want more information in this video, at the bottom, there's definitely, links that you can contact me and we can go forward. But Eric, I appreciate you, bro. I love you. And I definitely will do it again, yo. So I'll see y'all again, man. Team Sound Money Syndicate, holla at us. Black Wall Street, if y'all don't understand what that is, hit me up. I'll show y'all what Black Wall Street is about. Love y'all. Peace.
Love you back.
Love you, bro.